One shot, let's begin. I went with my childhood friend who looks like a 10 out of 10 pretty girl to a Tanabata festival by Yabuki Mao, translated and uploaded by magical translators and Millennium Bug. Alright. It is Pride Month, and I decided that gender swap should be a category in this here. There's not many like non-binary trans things I could find through the search function, so gender swap I think is in the spirit of Pride Month, and I'm trying to be inclusive as possible, not just the L, not just the G, but all the letters. We'll see if I can get all the letters though. There's a lot of them. With all that being said, let's LG begin, everybody. We zoom in, we go from there. Sorry, Makoto. I'm late. Like, like I said, I'm a guy. It's obvious from this yukata. It's a men's one. Was somebody trying to pick you up again, Mikoto? That's because you were so late, Yoshiko. This is my childhood friend. Oh, this is my childhood friend, Orihara Mikoto. He looks like a pretty girl, but he is in fact a guy. At school, he gets called Orihime. Translator's note: Orihime or Hime equals princess. But although this is a yearly event, even as we became high schoolers, we're still going to go to a Tanabata festival just by ourselves. We're even wearing yukatas. Phew, if you don't like it, go find yourself a girlfriend. I do want a girlfriend, but there is no girl that is cuter than you. Whoa, stop saying such funny jokes! The problem is, it's not a joke. Even as a kid, he had a girly face, and as he grew, he just kept looking more and more like a pretty girl. If he was a girl, I probably would have fallen in love at first sight. Damn it! Everyone likes girly this and girly that. Soon enough, I will grow taller and become a manly man. Make a wish. In that case, how about this? Make a wish. Use the pen and papers below. Let's see. I want to be no longer confused for a girl. Mikoto. Hey, come on! What the hell are you writing there? What will I do if someone sees this? It's alright, it's alright. It said that if I tie it here, your wish will come true. Stop it, idiot! It's embarrassing! You even wrote my name there! Hey, wait. I was just fooling. Ah, jeez. It's because you pulled it so hard. Whoa, that surprised me. Say, Mikoto, what was that? Huh? Mikoto? Are you Mikoto? Eh? I want to be a girl. Mikoto. Eh? I went with my childhood friend, Male, who looks like a 10 out of 10 pretty girl to a Tanabata festival by Yabukimao, Twitter @Yabukimao, status this, translating Millennium Bug, typesetting Millennium Bug, magical translators. Um, that is a gender swap. That is a very pleasant one. Or prevalent one, rather. Um, hmm. I think this is a cute story. I think I don't mind that it's Taco Bell. I know they have fries now. I like this as a concept. I'm a sucker for the childhood friends trope. I always think about like, dang, if only I had a childhood friend that I kept in contact with all these years. Closest I can remember is someone from seventh grade, and I don't keep in contact with them anymore. But after watching and reading a lot of anime, I always thought the childhood friend thing was the standard, but in fact, it's just probably a feature of small town Japan or small town wherever you're from. Um, I want to be no longer confused for a girl. So this guy was all well-meaning. I thought what was going to happen was he's going to say, he's going to put this on. I want to be no longer confused for a girl. And then it's like, okay, you're not going to be confused for a girl. In fact, you're just going to be a girl since the beginning. And it's like, oh, okay, we're going to alter space and time forever. But this is probably a better one with a more rom-com potential. I want to be a girl. And then boom, just transform, right? Um, and so I think this is fair, and then they could go and they could try to go and like tie the next one on, and everybody else pretends, or maybe it's like, oh, you're a girl now. Well then, okay, and that could answer a lot of potentially interesting questions. It can lead to a very um, interesting world, right? How do you react if one of your buddies just turns to the opposite gender randomly, right? Like, how would the government react? Would the government be like, oh, um, shit, we didn't have wishes coming true as a box in the gender form swap thing or whatever legal precedent you need to do in order to swap it. But okay, I guess now we have to, right? Was your gender alteration surgery due to medical choice, or was it due to you wishing on a tree? Those are two very different things. Um, One last thing before I get back to the analysis. Like imagine, like doctors would be like, "Oh shit, they can wish on trees now. I guess we're out of business now." But yeah, this character. Um, the problem with a lot of anime characters is that it could be difficult to tell whether it's a guy, a girl, a young person, an old person, because they're just drawn characters. And so this person, I could believe they're a guy, gal, non-binary pal, whatever you tell me. It's just kind of the results of the medium, right? I'd have to look for secondary features in order to determine it. But in this case, like right there, like wow, seems like clearly a girl in this case here, but not so much. But this person being a a cute person, and I do like to say that like a cute person because I have seen some people who transition from boy to girl who are attractive no matter what, and they hit the genetic lottery, and I'm a little jealous that they're able to do that. And this person seems to be the same, right? Cute as a boy, cute as a girl. They hit the genetic lottery. I wasn't aware that there were male and female Lakatas or Yukatas. Not at all. But it is kind of cool. Now, I don't know how I would feel if that was this person, because this person, is this person attracted to the other person? I mean, I guess they go to these festivals and stuff and they're childhood friends, so I guess the implication is they are attracted to each other, or maybe they will. But this brings an interesting question like, hey, I wish you to be a girl because I love you as a man, but platonically as a man, but I love you romantically as a girl, maybe sexually as a girl, right? And so, you get into that thing where like, okay, I like them as a person, but I'm not gonna go and marry them and have kids and have sex with them, right? Um, and in a case like this, it's super fascinating, and I kind of wish that there was a manga that would explore this theme. It kind of deconstruct this whole just because I love you, we should work out together, even if we're best friends, right? Because if I turn into a girl, I wouldn't want to fuck my homies. I would want to fuck my guy friends, and I wouldn't necessarily follow. Maybe the hormones will change, how I feel, but still, that is how I feel at this moment. I said on the date of this video's publishing, before, I wish on a tree and something happened. But it would be really interesting if there was a gender swap manga where the person swapped genders, like, oh, now we could be together. And the person's like, no. No, regardless of whether or not I swap genders, that doesn't mean I'm attracted to you. It doesn't mean that we're going to be a thing. And I think it could be a really interesting route to go down, as I don't necessarily read a lot of romance manga in general, so maybe there is one like that. But I think it'd be really cool to explore those relationship dynamics here. And you can kind of see the guy being like, oh, now that I'm a girl, you treat me a little bit differently. You want to do this, but no, I never wanted to go through that. It'd be a really interesting deconstruction of the genre, right? And I know that's nothing necessarily to do with this, but I think it's a really cool idea. that could potentially be done very well, but I think that require like a longer series rather than a one shot. In terms of this specific manga, well, I like the art. The art is solid. The art is good. It's expressive. The backgrounds are what they are. They're not as detailed, and the focus is on these people, but it doesn't need to necessarily. Excuse me. I got Baja Blast as well, so I'm sorry. I'm advertising Taco Bell at the moment. 10 out of 10 pretty girl. Even this title is so wholesome. A 10 out of 10 pretty girl, right? Who wouldn't want to hear this from them there? Could this last as a series? I think it absolutely could, but I feel like it has to go in depth to what I said. Let's explore because we really don't know how this other character thinks, right? We don't know. It's like, hey, I'm obviously a guy, and then they have all this like, if you don't like it, go find yourself a girlfriend, you know? And they're like, stop making those jokes there. You know, it could be interesting, like, and it could bring up the dynamic of, hey, do you wanna stay as a girl? Give it a year. Maybe it's only one wish a year. And are we gonna work together? It's like, no, I want you to love me regardless of whether I'm a guy, a gal, or non-binary pal. And so, what would be that could be the interesting thing. It's like, do I wish to go back to a guy? Do I wish to go back to a girl? Is love, or is there going to be societal conformities there? Now, I know this obviously is not going to be the point of this manga. If it does become a thing, which probably isn't, based on when was this made, like 3 years ago? But I kind of want to see it. I feel like there's some in-depth exploration that I don't necessarily have the authority on or the like lived experiences to really commentate on, but I think it'd be interesting to read and kind of explore this dynamic a little bit more. And man, for such a short little silly manga, I've kind of written a lot of interesting fiction here, you know? Or an interesting story. That is not the intention of this. This is probably just a childhood manga. They go, they romance, is cute. We're not supposed to get another one. This is fine for a one shot. It's a whole series. I think it has a lot of potential. And again, it is mainly based on the fact that this person just doesn't seem to necessarily reciprocate any feelings. This person doesn't show romantic attraction, right? Like, I just, if I want to go with my boys, that doesn't mean I want to do whatever here, Everyone's like girly this or girly that. Soon enough, I will grow to and become a manly man, right? This person does struggle with their masculinity. They want to be, like, acknowledged for it. And be like, hey, I want to be acknowledged for who I am. I shouldn't be a girl just because I'm short and I look a certain way, right? And exploring deconstructing that, I feel like this could be a really in-depth manga. But instead, we're probably just going to get little silly jokes into all of this here. And that's fine. I just got inspired to think a little bit different. And this author did 2 gender swaps. Interesting. One from 7 years ago. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. But regardless, I enjoyed this manga. It was fun for what it was. And I should probably just not write this extra manga that this was not intended to be. It's fun, it's short, it's worth your time. And well, as always, thank you guys for listening and reading and all that. So, with all that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for being born, y'all. Peace out.